Hello guys, my name is Thomas Jar and today I present to you my Monarch deck profile. Well, Monarch are a series of monsters that they rely on tribute summoning, that means they're an OG archetype, and also they don't need the extra deck to work, and also they have very neat effects to try to lock your opponent from the extra deck and possibly from spell summoning. So without further ado, let's begin. First we play 3 Aether, the Heavenly Monarch. Aether is very neat because you can tribute summon this card by tributing one tribute summoned monster, and if this card is tribute summoned you can send 2 Monarch spell and traps with different names from your hand and or deck to the graveyard, and if you do, spell summon one monster with 2400 attack and 1000 defense from your deck. Also, a very neat combo is that you can use this effect to bring out your Courage, the Light Monarch, and possibly pop 2 cards from your opponent or even your cards in case you want to fix your board, and it's pretty neat. Also, the monster that it's spell summoned by this effect, it's returned to your hand during the end phase, so you have to be very careful, and also it's very good in using this effect. During your opponent's main phase, if this card is in your hand, you can banish 1 Monarch spell and trap from your graveyard immediately after this effect is rolled, spell summon either from your hand. So it's pretty neat, pretty good. It's one of the best Monarchs we got with the structure deck, accompanied by Erebus. Erebus is a monster that you can tribute summon this card again by tributing 1 tribute summoned monster. If this card is tribute summoned, you can send 2 Monarchs spell and traps with different names from your hand and or deck to the graveyard, and if you do, shuffle 1 card from your opponent's hand at random or in the graveyard or their side of the field to the deck. So it's pretty good. It's like a Castello from hand, field, graveyard, and also and also during your either player's main phase, if this card is in your graveyard, you can discard 1 Monarch spell and trap, then target 1 monster in your graveyard with 2400 attack or more and 1000 defense and add it to your hand. So it can you can take him back into our hand or fix our hand with any way that we prefer. We play 1 Thestalos. Thestalos, the Mega Monarch. It's pretty neat because if you summon this card, look at your opponent's hand and discard 1 card from their hand. The knowledge that we get from this monster is pretty crucial because we can either pop a card that they search or we can bypass and look at your opponent's hand, which is very nice because information is key of winning the game by playing Monarchs, and also it's pretty good. Also, if it was a monster, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to its level, 200 points for each level. So it's pretty neat. Also, if we tribute summon a fire monster we will not use in this specific build, we can also inflict 1000 points of damage after we use that effect. So it's pretty good, pretty neat, and also very nice. As a key card, we play Dark Armed Dragon, because this card cannot be normal summon or set, must be spell summoned from your hand by having exactly 3 dark monsters in the graveyard, which is not a big deal, and also by its stats, 2800 attack and also 1000 defense is searchable with cards like the Return of the Monarchs, and also by having a lot of other cards like Tenacity of the Monarchs. So it's pretty good, pretty neat, and also very good to have in the deck, as a one-off at least. We play 3 Vanity's Fiend. Is one of the key winning combos that we can use to win the match, and also it's pretty neat in that regard. And also another player can spell summon, which is not a big deal because we can tribute summon as we like, but it's a very crucial effect if it's used from our graveyard by having there the Prime Monarch, so I will speak about that later. The 1 Courage that we bring most of the time by using the effect of Aether. So when this card is normal spell summon, you can target up to 2 cards on the field, destroy the targets, and if you do that, the player that loses those cards draw cards that they control. And also this card cannot attack during the turn it was normal or special summoned. So it's pretty neat, it's versatile, it helps a lot the build, and also it's pretty good at 1 copy at least. For the Tribute Father, we play Toon Link Slayer, because that means if we don't have a monster in our side of the field, we can spell summon Link Slayer and use his Twin Twister effect or at least one MST discard effect by sending 1 or 2 cards from our hand to the graveyard to target spell and traps your opponent controls, destroy them. So it's pretty neat in that regard, also helps fixing the graveyard and provides a lot of support. For the main monsters we play 2 Eidos. Eidos is a monster that allows us to have another normal summon and set that turn, and by having additional normal if we tribute summon in that turn, and also if this card is in the graveyard you can target 1 800 attack and 1000 defense, which combos very well with Idea, and also spell summon that monster in defense, and we can spell summon monsters from the extra deck except by tributing, so it's pretty neat. And also we play the 3 Idea, as I mentioned before. Idea is the bread and butter of the entire archetype. It's very good to have and very bad if we don't have him in time, because if this card is normal special summon, you can special summon one monster with 800 attack and 1000 defense from your deck into defense position, and also if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one of your banished Monarch spell and traps and add it to your hand, which is combos very good with our Pantheism of the Monarchs, Tenacity, and all other cards that I will explain in just a bit. And also it's really good to run 1 reinforcement. Many people prefer to play 1 for 1 to spell summon Idea as fast as possible, but I think that if we discard cards we lose advantage in Monarch decks, and that's the way we play with no 1 for 1, even though it's a very neat card if you want to facilitate in your build. Next we play 3 Pantheism of the Monarch, a very neat card. You can send 1 Monarch spell and trap from your hand into the graveyard to draw 2 cards. It's a pot of greed by sending 1 card to the graveyard. So it's kinda like +0 if you like, because we lose 2 cards to add 2, but also it has a very neat graveyard effect. Also the first effect is not once per turn. The other effect is that you can banish this card from your graveyard, reveal 3 Monarch spell and traps from your deck, and your opponent chooses 1 and add it to your hand. Also shuffle the rest back into your deck. Now something that is very nice and very good to have, it's that by using that effect you can target 3 of the same copies of a card that you need, either Tenacity of the Monarch or Monarch Stormforth, and so on and so on. And by using that effect also you can target Pantheisms as well. So it's pretty neat. The opponent will give you something, but if it is 3 copies of the same card, they will guarantee that you get that card. So it's pretty good in that regard. Speaking about Tenacity of the Monarchs is a very neat card. Reveal 1 monster in your hand with 2400 attack and 1000 defense, or 2800 attack and 1000 defense, and add 1 Monarch spell and trap from your deck into your hand, except itself. And also you can only activate 1 copy of this per turn, which is very good in that regard, very neat, and also it helps a lot by adding a spell and trap that we need. Most of the time it will be Pantheism or Stormforth in case we want to excel in our plays, or Return of the Monarchs or our Dominion of the Monarchs if we want to facilitate our board state, so it's pretty good. We play 7 level 8 monsters, so 2 trading helps a lot. Most of our monsters are searchable one way or another, so tributing them, sending them to the graveyard also helps our Dark Armored Dragon to go and come into the play, but also it allows us to go for our draw, that it fixes our hand and helps a lot in Monarch build. Next we play 3 the Monarch Stormforth. Very good and crucial card. If you use this you can tribute summon 1 monster our opponent controls like it was ours for a turn, so it's pretty good. And also you can also spell summon monsters from decks that we don't play any, so it helps very very much. We play 2 Return of the Monarchs to help us add a monster with 2400 attack and 1000 defense to our hand, and also another monster that is 2800 attack and 1000 defense. Also we cannot spell summon from the extra deck, so it's not a big deal, we don't have any clause with this, and it's pretty neat in that regard. Also it can search either the Courage in case we need it, but it also allows us to draw our Dark Armored Dragon because it searches him by his stats. The last card that we play for the spells is Domain of the True Monarchs. It's a very good and crucial card. While you have no cards in your extra deck and you have only the only player that it has tribute on some monster, your opponent cannot spell some monsters from the extra deck, which locks them from the game And if a tribute summon monster you control attacks an opponent's monster, it gains 800 attacks during the damage calculation only. Once per turn, you can target one level monster with 2800 attack and 1000 defense, and reduce its level by 2, even after this card is no more set, and even if this card leaves the field. So it's pretty good. It helps us bypass our 2 tribute mechanic, because we can summon monarchs faster that way, Testalos, Ether, and Erebus. So it's pretty neat in that regard. For the trap lineup, we play 2. The Prime Monarch, because it's pretty good. Once per turn you can target 2 Monarch spell traps in your graveyard, shuffle them back into the deck and draw 1, so it's pretty good in that regard. But also, if this card is in your graveyard, you can punch one other Monarch spell trap in our graveyard, spell summon this card as a normal monster that's level 5, it has 1000 attack and 2400 defense, and also you can use this effect of once per turn. So it's a very neat card that allows us to set up our tribute father for our monsters, and also it helps a lot by having a decent stat in defense, which can prevent at least 1 attack or 2 in case we want to help our board state. And last but not least, we play one escalation of the monarchs. Many players don't prefer to play this. I like it a lot because we can do plays in our opponent's turn by having Testalos or either or Erebus, or bring out a clutch Vanity Sphin to close out the game, and that helps a lot. So that's the deck profile. See you again, guys. Bye bye.